Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies.
All right, the Saints are starting to clear out cap. You know, every year we come into the new year with 100 million over the cap, 80 million over the cap, 70 million over the cap. Obviously, that didn't change this year, and the Saints start off with something that we all expected. We all knew this was coming. Ryan Ramczyk, who hasn't played this past season, was on the PUP list. Obviously lost a lot of weight, so you knew football was coming to an end for him. They restructured his contract, clearing some cap space. Obviously, this was going to happen, man. But before we get into that, man, shout out to Ryan Ramczyk. When we drafted him, I didn't have this channel when we drafted him, but I was so against this draft pick. Because like many, I wanted probably a receiver at the time. I wanted a running back at the time. But guess what? I never said he was a bad player. I just wanted a different position at that time. I believe Streets was still on the roster, who had maybe a year or two left. But man, Ryan Ramczyk came in and it was just amazing from day. It kind of reminds me of Fuaga. I actually wanted Fuaga because we needed to tackle, but it just reminds me of the way he came in. And just came in and hit the ground running really, really good for this franchise. Gave us a good 6-7 years. All pro guy. Shout out that right tackle position became very, very important in the NFL. And like even in the article says, partly because of Ryan Ramczyk, man. He showed how important them right tackles was, just like left tackles. So really, really good job from the Saints for finding him. Obviously, injuries happen, and you hate to see his career get cut short because of injuries. Because he was a Hall of Famer. The Saints got a Hall of Famer in Ryan Ramczyk, and it just didn't turn out that way because of injuries and things like that. But that's a Hall of Fame talent, a guy that was an all-pro guy, Pro Bowl guy, who's going to play 15 years in his league if he stayed healthy. But shout out to Ryan Ramczyk. Obviously, we'll be moving on. Trevor Penning kind of played that position this year and played it well. We'll talk about that in some more videos. But basically, we're going to stretch his dead money out over 2 years. I forgot what the numbers was. 11 million in both years. So he's going to still be on the cap for a couple years. And now let's talk about that for a situation, for a chance. The Saints have been so far behind the 8 ball, and we've have so much money tied in to dead money that it's kind of killing us. And eventually, you're going to have to get ahead of this and not have this money tied up into dead money. Now, obviously, you're going to have some dead money on your cap. Every team is going to have some dead money on your cap. But the Saints' percentage of dead money is getting way too high. I mean, let's just use easy numbers. Let's use 100 million. Let's say the salary cap is 100 million. To break this down for some people. And it's kind of, I'm not 100% accurate, but it's pretty much how it goes. If the salary cap is 100 million, which is way higher, but if it's 100 million, just so we can understand this, and you have 40 million of dead cap, 40% of your money you can use for the year is already gone to players that are not even on your roster anymore. That'd be traded, cut, retired, whatsoever. So now you only have 60 million where other teams have 100 million to put your roster together. So now when you see the Saints with this non-talented roster, which we have, is because we have so much money tied into dead cap. So you wonder why we have receivers, no disrespect to the receivers on our team, but when Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave go down, we don't have a number 3 receiver, number 4 receiver, number 5 receiver, because we can't afford those guys because our money is tied up into now Ryan Ramczyk. At first it was Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore now. It's gonna Jameis Winston. That dead money is tying up so much money for the Saints that it's hindering our chances to win. Hindering our chances to get more talent. We have to do it through the draft, or we have to nickel and dime and bargain to get our to get players on this team. And obviously, you don't want to live like that forever. But we've been living like that for a minute with the Saints. So hopefully we get this back on track. And start to get ahead of this because it's been getting way too out of hand. Like I said, we're still 50 million to go in the 2025 salary cap now. Obviously, this is easy. Like we just click on restructure right here. We can get to 50 million easy. Derek Carr's probably going to get restructured. That's 30 million. Now you got to get to 20 million. You could get Cam Jordan, Taysom Hill, Eric McCoy, Demario Davis. I think Eric McCoy is the easy one who's probably going to get restructured. Cesar Ruiz, he's going to get restructured. All of these other ones isn't easy. They aren't easy. Excuse me. We can look at cut post June. I kind of talked about this already. Obviously, you don't want to have 21. You don't want this Derek Carr dead money on your roster. So he's probably gonna get restructured. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Cam Jordan. This one's at 8. You can have 9 million dead money. You can save 11 million on the cap. That's gonna get you down 11 million from that cap number. That one's gonna be a tough one. Obviously, that's a franchise legend. He said he wants to play next year. Do you think he's worked that number? That's going to be between him and the Saints to figure out. Maybe he'll come back and renegotiate a contract to keep him here. Take a very, very minimal number. Way less than what he's getting. Maybe he'll do that. I don't know what he'll do. We already saw Derek Carr come out and say, That's gonna be a whole different video. I don't even talk about that. That's probably another crash out. I'm just gonna be honest. Then you got Taysom Hill. This one's gonna suck. This one's gonna suck. Older guy, really, really talented. Obviously, was one of our best players when he was healthy, when he was out there. Significant knee injury. Significant knee injury. Do you want to pay him this money or do you want to cut him? It's just gonna come down to it. The rest of these guys, DeMario, I think he's playing well enough that he's gonna keep playing. They're gonna probably restructure him. He's worked what he's getting paid right now. That's just facts. Some of those other guys, that's up in the air. To me, no, but we'll figure it out. Taysom Hill was worth it. Obviously, the injury is something you're not expecting, but now you gotta consider that. But Cam Jordan, a no for me. Derek Carr's a no for me, but it's just gonna mess the cap up if you do that. So you kind of have to restructure him and bring him back next season. Carl Granderson, he's probably gonna get he's gonna get restructured. Obviously, he's worked it. You don't want to cut him. Obviously, you can't cut him because it doesn't save you any cap anyway. Tyrann Mathieu, I'm sorry, LSU legend, man, NFL legend, all that, but it's time. Juwan Johnson, only $1 million dead money. We say 4.6 million. It's time. It's time. I wouldn't be shocked if Nathan Shepard. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. And everybody else, the money's insignificant, so you don't really have to worry about that. But I mean, we're gonna get under the cap, obviously. But man, this was basically shout out to Ryan Ramczyk. Like I said, man, great career. Wish it could have went differently. Because obviously we have him and Fuaga. Things go a lot different. Maybe we don't even draft Fuaga. Maybe we end up getting a playmaker this year because we have Penning and Ramczyk. But like I said, it is what it is. You got to play the hand that you were dealt. This is the hand we were dealt. We're going to get under that cap. I'm never worried about that. I'm just want to see what we're going to do. Are we going to start cutting people and Mickey Loomis finally grow a pair and say, hey, Cam Jordan, it's over? Or are we just going to keep kicking the can down the road and adding void years and then restructuring and extensions and this and that and just being a terrible franchise? Because we're ran very, very badly. And eventually, you got to stop. You got to stop and say, you know what? Maybe we aren't good enough to make the playoffs. Maybe we aren't good enough to win a division. Maybe we aren't good enough to win a Super Bowl. And let's just say, time to rebuild. These older guys, because we're the oldest team in the league, which Mickey Loomis just doesn't want to admit when it's just a fact. You have to start getting younger. You have to start getting talent. We just play slower and less enthusiastic than every other team. I watched the Lions, and Aaron Glenn has them playing just like we play. The system is very, very similar, but those guys are flying around the ball. Those guys are moving. Those guys are playing very, very well, and we're not. Like, the system's the same, but they're just younger. They're faster. They're quicker. They're more hungry. They have a very, very good coach they're playing for, and it just looks very different. It looks very different. So hopefully we can get younger. We can get better. This is going to be a start. And we're going to see what restructures we do, what cuts we do. Obviously, we have a long time, but we'll see. And it's not really that long. It's not really that long. Once that Super Bowl gets to the rolling and stuff like that, in about a month or so, things will start falling. But like I said, man, and we got a video every day this year. That's the goal. That's the plan. And I think we're 8 for 8 right now. But thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, this is the Boot Tragedies. I'm out.